Hello, my name is Mugru Sunday, a software developer in Andela. Today I'm reviewing the functionalities of this Bucketlist API. If you want to follow with this video session, you can follow this instruction on how to use. Just clone the project, create a virtual env, then complete the following task. Right, I already have this set up in my own computer system, so I'm already in Bucketlist virtual environment, so I'll just run the project. Python run. Cool. So this shows our project is running, and you can see the URL here. It's running with port number 5000. So I'll be testing out this API using Postman. Postman is a very handy tool. Can help us to choose different kind of HTTP method and a very good GUI. Cool. So let's get this started. The first endpoint here is to register a new user, and for us to register a user we go through the endpoint register and register ourselves posts because we're going to be sending data. Okay, so in the header, content type is JSON. In the body we need to send in the username, and let's say Sunday Guru, and we're going to send the email sundayguru@gmail.com, and I want to send password. Okay, I'll just say tests here, password. I think that's about it. So let's try this out. We'll send it. User already exists. Okay, so let's add a number to it. Probably I've created a user with Sunday Guru, so let's try this out. Cool. So this shows that I've successfully created a user, so it returns the detail of the user and the ID of the user in the database. So we successfully registered. So yep, so we can log in with this user to access other endpoints, because other endpoints are all locked. You can see here we say it's public, the register is public, the login is public, but every other endpoints are all locked. So we need to authenticate a user for us to be able to access other endpoints. So we're going to try this endpoint now. Okay, this says post, but what if we try to use get? On this, if we try to use get, what happens? Okay, this method is not allowed. So let's check out the login, and we're using post. So in login we need the username, we really don't need the email, then the password is tests. Okay, so let's assume we don't have some of the parameter passed. Let's try to say we try to log in with ordinary user without the password. Let's see what happens. Cool. So password cannot be blank, so it requires password is a required parameter, so we have to pass that. Password tests. Cool. Okay, what if we enter a wrong password? It says invalid user credentials. So we do test, which is the actual username and password that we used to register. So let's see how it goes. Yep, we are logged in, so we have a token passed to us. So this token will be used to access every other locked area. So let's pick this, copy it to my clipboard, and we are going to try accessing bucket list or creating a bucket list. Right, we're going to create a bucket list, which is a locked area, by the way. So let's see. Change this to bucket lists. Great. So now bucket list, we don't know what is requiring, so we're going to add access token to the header. So we'll paste our access token because we need the access token to be sent through the header. Then in the body, we don't need username and password. So let's see what happens here. Name cannot be blank, so it requires name. Okay, so what's the name of our bucket list? So we are going to say tests bucket lists. Okay, great. Returns 201 as a status. That means it has created, and it returns the detail of the bucket list that was created. So this is ID 7, so we can actually use this to access the value. Okay, alright, so let's create one more bucket list. Test 2 bucket lists, and that is that. So what if we try to create a duplicate one? Let's send this again, and it says item already exists. Right, okay, so that is posting to bucket list. The next endpoint there is fetching a bucket list. Okay, so if we want to fetch, we use get method to fetch. Remember, our access token is still there. What if we remove the access token, just to confirm this works? Cool. Unauthorized access, trying to get bucket list without a token. So we put the token and we get the data. And remember, we are only getting for Sunday Guru 2 and not for any other user. So it's filtering based on the user. And this is page. We have pagination here, which we are going to review in time to come. Okay, so for us to test that out, pagination, let's quickly add one more data. So we have something to paginate. Let's do this. We have the token, we have the name, okay, test 3, send it, test 4, send it, alright, test 5. Let's send this. So we have enough data. So when we go to get, we have 5 record here, but this by default the limit for each page is 25, but we can override that by passing a limit parameter to the URL. So if we do limit by 2 and we send that, you can see we only have the first 2 record and we have the next page. This is a URL to fetch the next data. So if we add page equals to 2, it will give us the next page data. So let's quickly do that, and page equals to 2. When we send, it gives us 9 to 10. The previous one is 7 to 8. This is 9 to 10 as an ID. Remember, we're limiting by 2, so In this case, we still have data up front and data backwards, so we have next and previous. So if you do page 1, it goes back. If you do page 3, it goes forward. So we can do this, and we have this, and we just have previous to go back here. Alright, so pagination works. Let's quickly look at the next. Fetch single bucket list by passing the ID, and is also a restricted area. Okay, so this is also a get. So for example, we know that we have data from 7 to 11 that belongs to this user, so we'll do /8, which is a get, and we have the information for 8 test2 bucket list /10 test4 bucket list. So that works. Okay, what if we alter the header, the data here? Let's, for example, we even alter by adding 1 to the beginning of the session, which makes the token a wrong token. So if we send this, it says unauthorized because we have altered the token. Okay, so let me remove the 1 and we try again, and you see that the data comes back up. Right, what if we try to access an ID that does not exist? Let's try that out, and unauthorized access, because you're trying to access a resource that does not belong to you. Let's even try 1. See, you get unauthorized access. Okay, so fetching single data works. Let's do the next endpoint. Fetch single bucket list. We've done that. Update bucket list. Okay, we want to update a single bucket list item. For example, we checked out this. Okay, test bucket list. So we're going to modify the ID 7, right? So change this to puts. Then okay, in the body we have name test5 bucket list. So why not change this to test bucket lists modified? And when we send this, cool, test bucket list modified comes here. So how do we confirm that is done? Let's do get again. Get 7. Test bucket list modified. Let's get 6. Is there 6? No. Let's get maybe 9. Cool. Test 3 and 7. Test bucket list modified. So update works. Okay. Let's look at the next one here. Delete bucket list record. Okay. Deleting a bucket list record. Okay, let's say we want to remove this particular one now. Let's see all first to be sure. Okay, we have this at the first. So when we want to eliminate 7, delete, and boom, 204, no contents. That means that data has been taken off from the database. So let's do find all again. Okay, let's try to get this item. You will see unauthorized access. Then if we fetch all to confirm that the record is gone, so we now have 8 as the first item instead of 7, so that record has been deleted. Okay, let's look at the next endpoints. Delete, we've tested this. Create bucket list item. Okay, bucket list item is supposed to be for an individual bucket list, so we're going to try this endpoint. Okay, so let's go back to Postman. So we're going to add item for ID 8. So ID 8 slash items. Cool. And this will be posts. In the body we have task and buy a car. Yeah. and we send this data. So this has been created. You can see bucket list owner. This is it. Okay, we can add more tasks to that. Let's say jet send. Good. So we have that task entered. So we can come to fetch all item. Let's see if that's the next endpoint. Create list, fetch, yeah, fetch all items, the ID, then items in a get rest. So send this. You can see the two created: buy a car, buy a jet. Cool. So this one to have pagination. If you want to paginate, you can also do limit maybe by 1. Let's see. Cool. And you have your next by page. Can next page equals to get by a jet. Great. Okay, so the next endpoint here is fetch a single item. Okay, so we have 17, and can we remove the filter so we can see all the ID? We have 16 and 17, so we can decide to show 16, and you see the record. Show 17, you see the record. Try to access one that does not belong to you. Item does not exist. Why not? Let's try to access something smaller. 12. Okay, item does not exist because it does not belong to you. 12 might exist, but it belongs to a different user, so you can't fetch that. Okay, so that's that. Let's look at another endpoint. Okay, we are done with this single item fetching, so we are going to focus on update list item. Let's link up this. So this is detail of ID 16. Let's update it a little bit. Change this to puts. Get the body sets done to maybe true because we have false here, and send that. Cool. Get true. Updated. Let's also try to modify the task. Let's say buy a wonderful car. So let's send that in. Cool. Buy a wonderful car. Let's confirm that. So get all items again, and you see the new record. Buy a wonderful car. True. False. Buy a jet. So that works. Okay, the next endpoint is, okay, the last endpoint really, to delete a bucket list item. So for us to delete an item, we know the ID, so let's delete 16 and delete. Send. No content means it's deleted. Okay, let's get again, and we have one record left, so 16 has been deleted. So that's each and every of the endpoints. What am I missing? Okay, searching by name. Yeah, in this particular one you can actually search by name. Let's do bucket lists. Yeah, we have a lot of item here. Say 1 2 3 4. So let's say we want to search by test 3. Let's say we want to get test 3, so you search by adding a queue to the gets the URL. Let's say test test3, and when you do this you get only test3 record. See, test3, right? This works with like, so it's not like you type the full name before you can bring it out, but because we have if I remove this, if you check here, it's all test2 bucket list, test3 bucket list, so the only difference is the numbering. So peradventure I want to add one more post data so we can test that out. Let's assume we have name, another task to be done, and let's take this off. Cool, we have this now. So if we want to search based on query, let's say where there's tests, item already exists. Oh my god, I tried to post. Okay, let's change that to get. Cool. So if you look at everything here, but the last one we added does not exist. So if I remove this and send, you'll see that we have another task to be done in the filter. Let's say we want to show only query, the one that has another, and you see that pops up. So that's searching by name. I also added searching by name in each individual item, so we can do this. Where do we add item now? Items, let's look at that. Unauthorized, let's go back in time, the URL. Okay, so we have objects in it actually. So if we do this, oops, method is not allowed for the requested URL. Yeah, because peradventure 8 does not exist anymore because of the slash. Oh my god, I'm doing puts, pardon me. Okay, slash 8 slash items. Cool, I was doing put earlier on, so my bad. Okay, so I want to search here. I can also do query something that does not exist and no record found. But if I search with tests, no record found. If I search with by, and we get something here. Cool, so search works for this and for the other one. So that's all the features that we have here. All the endpoints has been tested and confirmed working. If you want to clone the repo, you can follow this instruction one more time to perform this exercise. So this project is an open source, so you can look at the code, see what you can kick out to use in your own project and all that. I'm going to be releasing another video to show how this code works. We're going to go through the directories and look at how this code were constructed, and peradventure you can learn one or two things from there. So see you next time. Bye.